Representative Macbeth's legislation, 7303. We have Chandi Hanna, and representing Right to Life, Rachel Guillen. Gwyn? Okay. Chandi Hanna.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam Chair, and the committee for having us here today. My name is Chandi Hanna. I'm the Vice President of RI Now, Nurse Organization for Women in Rhode Island, and I'm here to represent the RI Coalition for Reproductive Health. RI Now members and supporters know that it's fundamentally important that a woman have the ability to make her own reproductive health care decisions that she believes are right for her and for her family. This bill will mandate what is already the current standard of care. Doctors are already performing these ultrasounds in order to determine the age of the fetus. However, what this bill would do is require that the doctor make a speech specifying in great detail everything that he or she sees in the ultrasound. We also would make sure that the screen is positioned so that the woman can see the ultrasound. The woman can choose to look away, but she'd have to cover her ears to avoid the speech. Physicians should be deciding what the standard of care should be. A woman should not be forced into hearing a speech that is designed to coerce her against having an abortion. The sponsors and supporters of this legislation insult women's intelligence by assuming that women are uninformed. They further insult doctors who have years of training by assuming that they don't talk with their patients about their options and their risks. This law is not designed to protect women. As some of its supporters may indicate, the real purpose of this law is to shame, embarrass, and guilt women out of making the legitimate decision to end their pregnancy. Women and their doctors are faced with difficult pregnancy decisions every single day. Every woman should be able to trust that her healthcare provider can and will provide her with the most appropriate care based on her individual needs. And Rhode Island lawmakers should not be interfering with personal, private medical decisions that should be best left to women, to their families, and to their doctors. We know that the women of Rhode Island are already equipped to make the best decisions for themselves, their bodies, and their lives. This proposed legislation is unnecessary, it's harmful, and it's intimidating. We urge you to vote no on this legislation, House Bill 7303. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Rachel Lynn, and I'm the Executive Director of CareNet Pregnancy Center of Rhode Island. I'm here in support of Bill number 7303, and I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. When I was in college, I talked someone into an abortion. She found herself pregnant and wanted to keep the baby. I was convinced that it was a bad idea, and I did everything I could to change her mind. I told her her life was over. I told her it wasn't really a baby. I told her that it was just a blob of cells. And I think at the time, I actually believed all of that. It is common rhetoric of the culture around us to call the baby a blob of cells. And I didn't know at the time that at 12 weeks pregnant, that blob of cells had a heartbeat, a face, fingernails, and could hiccup. When I drove her to the abortion clinic, I am sure that someone there asked her if she was there of her own free will, and I'm sure she said yes. But the truth is, she did not have all the information about her pregnancy that she needed to make a fully informed decision. She believed the untruths that I and others told her, and she was under tremendous pressure from her family, her friends, her loved ones. She thought she was dealing with a blob of mucus. She went through with the abortion. As the director of a pregnancy center, I can tell you that a significant number of the women that come into our center actually want to keep their babies, but they are being pressured or even bullied to terminate their pregnancies by people in their lives. For those women, the opportunity to see the fetus, its movement, and its development can give her the courage she needs to make the choice to carry her baby despite the powerful opposition in her life. But even for a woman that chooses not to carry, doesn't she also deserve to know all the facts about her pregnancy? Because whatever her ultimate decision, it is critically important to her own well-being that her decision be based on facts and information and not euphemisms like blob of tissue. In its decision on Planned Parenthood versus Casey in 1992, the Supreme Court said, in attempting to assure that the women apprehend the full consequences of her decision, the state furthers the legitimate purpose of reducing the risk that a woman may elect an abortion only to discover later, with devastating psychological consequences, that her decision was not fully informed. It is the state's responsibility to advocate for the women of Rhode Island. It is your responsibility to ensure that women are given the tools and information they need in order to make a fully informed decision. In our center, we often deal with women who didn't know the whole story and now deeply regret the choice that they made. The principle of informed consent is standard medical practice. It requires that when you are about to undergo a medical procedure, the practitioner, in this case the abortion provider, has an obligation to give you all the relevant information so that you can make a truly informed choice. The ultrasound bill that is being presented here today simply requires that the abortion provider offer his or her patient the opportunity to see the fetus and hear an explanation of what she is seeing. There has been some criticism that this is invasive, but since it is already standard practice to do the ultrasound, all this bill is asking is that the woman be given the option of whether or not to see the image. Ultrasounds help women make informed decisions about their options. Informed choices are good for women. The women of Rhode Island deserve to know everything they can about a procedure that cannot be undone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there questions for Ms. Gwynn?